They dead at the moment that their brain stops functioning, or is it once all their organs stop functioning?
I would say once their heart stops, or like, yeah, when their organs stop. Just take an ability and you're just using it as like actuality, like it's able to do it. Like it's
Yes,
like you
ability
can't
would be
literally do
able
it.
to do
It's like
something.
about the abortion thing. So like, what's your position on abortion?
Yeah, so I'm pro-choice. I think that prior to 20 weeks, no questions asked. I think that we should grant rights based on personhood that should be centered around largely the ability to deploy a unique conscious experience. Science kind of dictates that at the earliest around 20 weeks, 20 to 24 weeks is typically the range. So I would say as a just for like to be safe, you could place that at around 20 weeks. After that, I would say it would have to be, I would agree with the typical exceptions like rape, incest, the life of the mother, things like that.
So at 20 weeks, something changes and it becomes like a human, a person.
So yeah, well, it's not that just at 20 weeks something magically changes, but there is a range of things that form in the cortex. There's like thalamocortical connections, how your synapses fire off. And this is what is associated with the ability to deploy a conscious experience and kind of how puberty forms in a range. Like you can't pinpoint exactly the day puberty happens. This is kind of the same. And that range is associated between 20 to 24 weeks. So I would say to be safe for all ranges to just place it at 20 weeks.
Okay. And why we ought to value consciousness?
Well, because that's kind of what I think dictates rights. As we spoke to earlier, I think that rights are kind of social contracts between persons. So at the point that we would begin to give moral considerations or rights to it, it would be when it becomes a person.
Your consideration of person is, or your definition of person would just be human that's conscious.
It would be a human with the ability to deploy a unique conscious experience. Past, or present.
What do you mean unique conscious experience?
Well, everyone's conscious experience is unique, right? And then
yeah, so isn't that just trivial? You just say a conscious experience.
I guess, but I mean, I feel like that would leave way to be like, what if they're hooked up to a machine that is inhibiting some shared conscious experience between them and another human and or whatever? And I guess I just put it to imply. I mean, it could be redundant, but like that's just semantics at that point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it just kind of seems arbitrary to pick that point. Well, unless I don't know, maybe you have an argument as to why we should take consciousness to be the delineating versus something like I don't know, conception. Like, why do we take consciousness other than like I'll say it's just gonna be at conception if they become a person, right, or the person starts to exist. And you say it's when consciousness is deployed, like, why should we take one over the other?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons. I think one is just on a rights basis, what I've stated a couple times, that rights are between persons. The other one I think is that in terms of morality, I don't think without harming a thing or causing negative consequence, I don't know if you could say that an act is immoral. And if we're talking about something that cannot have negative experience, then I don't think you could harm it. I don't think that, especially even if there was some hypothetical negative harm, that it could trump that of the negative experience of the person, the mother, having her rights violated, her bodily autonomy. And it would be the same principle, I think, in that we don't consider someone on a machine on end of life. We don't consider pulling the plug on that to be murder. I just don't think it's the same for a fetus because it's the conscious experience we value, right? Like when a person's conscious experience ends, that's what we consider death. So I think when it starts is what we should consider life.
Well, I wouldn't say we consider it death because someone's not having people in comas aren't having a conscious experience.
So if someone's brain dead and all of their organs are alive, is that person alive or dead? Are they dead at the moment that their brain stops functioning, or is it once all their organs stop functioning?
I would say once their heart stops, or when their organs stop.
Okay, so then you would think, because you realize once there's organ transplants are done, those organs are still functioning. You think that those people are being live murdered, experimented upon. You think that's obviously immoral then because those are still living beings, right?
Well, yeah, like brain death doesn't mean you're like dead, right? It just means it's
Well, it does. I think most people would consider brain dead dead. That's why we call it brain dead. But I'm asking you, if you don't think that's dead and you think it's when organs stop, then you would consider the act of taking someone's organs out to be immoral then because you think that person's still alive.
Okay, yeah, in the case of brain death, well, that's not the same as a coma, though. I said coma, and you said we went to brain death. People in comas are not necessarily brain dead. Like, people can wake up from comas.
Sure.
That's why I was confused, because I don't know if you were, like, saying brain death was coma, but this is, like, a totally different thing. Yeah, I was talking about in the case of comas.
No, I'm telling you because I said when someone's conscious experience ends, that's what we consider death. And you said that's not necessarily true. So I asked you then if someone is brain dead, but their organs are still functioning, would you consider them dead? Most people would. We consider it dead as a society. And if you don't personally, my next question would be then, what is your opinion on the morality of organ harvesting?
In the case of the coma, persons, they're not conscious, but they're not dead, right?
Yes.
Consciousness ends, but they're not dead. So
they still have the ability to deploy a conscious experience. It would be like,
oh, wait a minute. Now it's the potential.
No, I literally from the beginning said it's the ability to deploy a unique human conscious experience.
Yes, and the problem with that is I'm going to ask when that ability comes into being for the baby. And you're not going to be able to define that because it's not a scientific question.
What I just told you.
Metaphysical question.
No, I just told you.
No, you said it's at 20 weeks.
You have the ability to deploy a conscious experience. You have all the necessary components between 20 to 24 weeks. So that is scientifically true.
Yes, but this is the issue with that view. Because to say somebody has the ability to do something is the same as just saying they have the capacity or the potential, right?
No.
How is it not the same? It's literally synonymous terms.
Because a car, listen. If you have all the pieces for a car that is not assembled, it has the potential to become a car that can drive. But if that car is assembled and it's just off, it has the ability to be driven right then. One is about the future and one is it could do it right now. It's just not. So like in a coma, they have all the necessary components. A fetus does not. Prior to 20 weeks. Prior to 20 weeks.
Yeah, you said it has the potential to be a car and drive. And then you try to make an analogy, but on the analogy you said, oh, okay, now it has the ability to drive. Like that wasn't even analogous. That was a disanalogy.
It's absolutely.
Become a car, then drive, and then you said
yes. If you have all the pieces of a car in the blueprints, you have the potential of a car that can drive. If you have a car, you have a car with the ability to drive. Those are two vastly different things, two vastly different scenarios. And it's the same with a fetus prior to 20 weeks and a fetus that has all the necessary conditions to deploy a conscious experience.
Right, so you're just taking ability and you're just using it as like actuality, like it's able to do it. Like it's
yes, like ability would be able to do something. Like if you're able to do something, you have the ability to do it. Yes.
Okay, then I was just equivocating. Oh, you don't value potential at all then?
No. Why would I value potential? Should we let a 10-year-old drink alcohol because they have the potential to become a 21-year-old?
I don't see how that's relevant.
It's potential. If that's what we value, should I give a third grader a high school diploma because they have the potential to graduate high school? We don't grant things. We don't grant things. We don't grant anything off of potential. Why would we grant this?
Maybe we don't grant like stuff like that, but we definitely grant stuff off potential.
No.
No?
No, we don't grant things off potential.
We don't make judgments on potential?
We absolutely don't grant rights off potential. We wouldn't let a kid sign a contract for a house because they have the potential to be an adult. We wouldn't let a 2-year-old run for president. We wouldn't let a 2-year-old run for president because they have the potential to be 35. Like that is a ridiculous argument. I would never grant something off potential.